However, those encounters had a profound impact on her ideals, personality, and artistic creations. She frequently gives thanks to her parents for giving her the tenacity and faith that fueled her entire career. Her mother, Owens Parton, who preserved music in their home through church singing, and her father, Robert Lee Parton, a dedicated sharecropper. Early on, Dolly's musical ability became apparent. Before she was a teenager, she started singing in local radio shows and churches. She immediately distinguished herself with her innate talent for songwriting. After graduating from high school, she relocated to Nashville, Tennessee, with the intention of pursuing her dream of becoming a country music star. Her first significant break occurred in 1967 when she appeared on the Portavagna Show, which brought her to a national audience. They produced many hits together. However, Dolly's drive and inventiveness ultimately inspired her to pursue a career as a solo artist. Her moving farewell to Wagner, "I Will Always Love You," became one of the most famous songs in country music history in 1974. Whitney Houston later reworked it, solidifying its status as one of the most popular songs ever made. Dolly Parton changed the definition of what it meant to be a country musician during the 1970s and 1980s. She became well known worldwide thanks to her crossover success in pop music, which included hits like Here You Come Again, 9 to 5, and Islands in the Stream, a duet with Kenny Rogers. She emerged as one of the few musicians who could successfully blend pop and country music, appealing to a wide range of listeners without ever sacrificing her genuineness or small-town charm. She became a cultural icon because of her vivid personality, great sense of humor, and stunning sense of style. Her skill as a songwriter, which is based on comedy, narrative, and intense emotion, won her the respect of both fans and peers. However, Dolly Parton's influence goes well beyond only her songs. She has acted in a number of well-known movies such as Steel Magnolias, 1989, The Best Little House in Texas, 1982, and 9 to 5, 1980. Her real presence, humorous timing, and warmth were hallmarks of each performance. Her forays into stage and television work further illustrated her adaptability and proved that her charisma could illuminate any platform. Along with her work in entertainment, Dolly has emerged as one of her generation's most giving philanthropists. As someone who grew up with little money but boundless aspirations, she has contributed millions of books to children all across the world through the Dollywood Foundation and her Imagination Library program, working to advance literacy and education. With the 1993 release of her album Slow Dancing with the Moon, Dolly Parton once again reminded the world of her unparalleled ability and timeless charm. This project wasn't just another achievement to add to her extensive resume. It was a richly creative and intensely personal compilation of songs that demonstrated her development as a singer and songwriter. The album is praised by critics for its depth of passion and authenticity, which have always been the mainstays of Dolly's work. The album created a cozy, nostalgic atmosphere that appealed to both new listeners and devoted followers by fusing her distinctive country origins with soft pop undertones. Songs like Full Circle and More, Where That Came From, as well as the title track, demonstrated Dolly's ability to blend musical beauty with poignant storytelling. The album received considerable praise, solidifying her status as one of America's most cherished musical voices during a period of fast change in the country music scene. Musical impact extended beyond her own records that year. Beethoven's second family film included the James Ingram and Dolly Parton song, The Day I Fall in Love, through words that struck a deep chord with listeners of all ages. The sweet duet highlighted the simplicity and purity of love, in addition to the song's creative value. The creators of this heartfelt composition were recognized with an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song, which demonstrated Dolly's ability to bring warmth and authenticity to every project she worked on. Her status as a musician whose music crossed generations and genres was further solidified by this accolade. Dolly's artistic development persisted throughout the 1990s, but one thing never changed: the uniqueness and unique appeal of her songs. Dolly's tunes managed to maintain their uniqueness despite the fact that pop-oriented country music was becoming more popular. She demonstrated that honesty never goes out of style by remaining loyal to her Appalachian heritage while also embracing contemporary inspirations. Millions of people were still moved by her words, which were frequently filled with heartbreak, humor, and optimism. Her ability to deliver stories that were both very personal and broadly accessible won her admirers. In addition to maintaining her distinctive sound by the late 1990s, Dolly had grown in popularity as a symbol of fortitude, originality, and self-expression. With the release of The Grass is Blue in 1999, the first of a planned album series influenced by bluegrass music, genre closely associated with her background in East Tennessee, Dolly embarked on an exciting new chapter in her career. The album represented a daring artistic rebirth as well as a return to her origins. It was praised by critics as one of her best pieces, and they praised her for bringing bluegrass back into the mainstream. Her voice, which was clear and full of emotion, complemented the genre's complex orchestration in a lovely way. She published Little Sparrow, an eerily lovely book that examined themes of love, trust, and resiliency. In 2001, after its popularity, her depth as an artist was demonstrated by songs like Shine and Marry Me, which combined traditional folk elements with her distinctive lyrical style, with her 2002 album Helios and Horns, which demonstrated her songwriting variety and unafraid experimentation. Dolly's creative vigor persisted. It featured a memorable performance of Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, a daring move that showed off her ability to reimagine even the most well-known rock tunes with a distinctively country bluegrass sound. Her 2005 album Those Were the Days, a sentimental ode to iconic songs from the 1960s and 1970s, further demonstrated her musical curiosity and her profound love of using song to tell stories. Dolly penned Traveling Through for the movie Transamerica that same year. She was nominated for another Academy Award for the song, which examined themes of acceptance, identity, and personal journey. Traveling Through struck a deep chord with listeners with its heartbreaking message and heartfelt delivery, confirming Dolly's talent for writing songs that gracefully and compassionately address the human condition. Dolly never lost her creative spark as the years went by. She continued to be involved in the entertainment industry by performing live, appearing on television, and working with other artists. Her continued popularity was evidence of her heart, humor, and humility. She recorded the heartfelt ballad You Can't Make Old Friends in 2013 with Kenny Rogers, her longtime friend and duet partner. Fans who had followed their collaboration since the iconic Islands in the Stream found great resonance in the song's sad tone, which reflected on the value of enduring friendship. It was one of the most memorable collaborations of her latter career because of the song's emotional impact and their obvious chemistry. Dolly's 42nd studio album, Blue Smoke, was published in 2014. It was a passionate and lively work that blended her love of gospel, country, and bluegrass genres. The CD was well welcomed by critics and was another significant achievement in her 60-decade career. She expressed her appreciation for her heritage, her thoughts on life's journey, and her undying optimism for the future through songs like Home and Banks of the Ohio. Her appeal to a global audience was demonstrated by the accompanying Blue Smoke World Tour, which took her music to audiences in North America, Europe, and Australia. She gained notoriety in 2020 when she donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University's COVID-19 vaccine research, which helped create the Madna vaccine. Generosity and kindness are not publicity gimmicks for Dolly. They are a lifestyle based on her faith and her unwavering commitment to serving others. In addition to honoring her career, her Dollywood theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee pays homage to her passion for her Appalachian roots by giving thousands of people in her hometown work and opportunities. Dolly Parton has received numerous accolades throughout the years, including the Kennedy Center Honors, several Grammy Awards, and induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame, among others. But it's not simply her skill or her accoutrements that really make her stand out. Her heart is in it. She is a living example of the American dream, the notion that anything is achievable with perseverance, compassion, and self-belief. Millions of people have found solace, joy, and motivation in her songs. And every year that goes by adds to her legend. Numerous admirers have pondered throughout the years what Dolly Parton's thoughts and feelings were regarding the rock and roll king, Elvis Presley. Although the two legends were never formally documented together, Dolly was deeply affected by the ways their journeys crossed. Parton has publicly discussed her intense love and adoration for Elvis in a number of interviews over the course of her life, frequently with a gentle smile and a hint of remorse. With a hint of melancholy in her voice, she once remarked gently, "I've always loved Elvis Presley. He had such an unadulterated, human quality. It was impossible to replicate the spark he possessed. In one way or another, I believe we all fell somewhat in love with Elvis. At the height of their respective careers. In the early 1970s, Dolly first met Elvis. At that time, Elvis was a global superstar, and she was already becoming one of Nashville's most talented songwriters. She recalled, "I remember being so nervous. There he was, this legendary figure whom the world loved, and here I was, a country girl from the Smoky Mountains. However, he simply felt at home as he grinned at me. He was amiable, humorous, and surprisingly quiet. People didn't always get to see that version of Elvis." The song, "I Will Always Love You," is the subject of one of the most well-known anecdotes linking the two celebrities. It was written by Dolly in 1973 as a farewell to Porter Wagner, her business partner and mentor. The song conveyed a sincere message of independence and thankfulness. Elvis wanted to record it as soon as he heard it. The thought made Dolly's heart leap with joy. She said, "I thought I was going to cry." Elvis Presley expressed interest in performing my song. "It was unbelievable to me. The king himself, a songwriter, performing your words was like a dream come true, but that dream never materialized." Dolly was informed by Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, that they would have to hold half of the publication rights if Elvis recorded the song, no matter how much it hurt. Dolly knew she couldn't reveal that since she had already come to understand the importance of creative control. She recalled that moment with sparkling eyes and remarked, "I had to say no. After that I cried all night long. I really wanted Elvis to do it, but I had to stand my ground because of something in my stomach. That music was supposed to be mine, and I knew it. Years later, Dolly would frequently reflect on that lost chance with fondness and longing rather than resentment. She remarked, "I never blamed Elvis. I was aware that he wasn't at blame. It's likely that he was unaware of the publication problem. It was merely business. However, I always believed he understood how much I loved and appreciated him. I believe he did." She subsequently revealed that she was devastated by Elvis's death in 1977 when I heard it on the radio while I was driving. I simply stopped and sobbed. It felt like the world had lost a piece of its magic, she remarked. No Elvis will ever exist again. Dolly frequently mentioned how her own artistic abilities were greatly influenced by Elvis Presley's charm and genuineness. She explained that he sung from his soul. "I have also always made an effort to accomplish that. Regardless of the genre you're singing, country, gospel, rock, people can tell if you're not sincere." Elvis was serious. Dolly has stated that his impact is still there in her life and work, despite the fact that they never worked together. "I sometimes think about what might have been," she continued, laughing wistfully. "Hearing him sing I Will Always Love You would have been amazing. I picture his gentle, deep voice encircling that tune. Even thinking about it makes me shiver." Lee saw Elvis Presley as more than just a famous person. He represented genuineness, charisma, and openness. Elvis had the ability to move people. She claimed that he gave you the impression that he was singing exclusively for you. "When I sing, I attempt to do that, touch people's emotions in the same manner that he did." Her homage to Elvis has, in many respects, always focused on what did occur rather than what did not. Two musicians with modest Southern origins who shared their passion for music, religion, and people with millions of people. Dolly said, "He will always be a part of my story. And as the song says, I will always love him." Decades later, her remarks on Elvis still have the same air of love and respect. Dolly Parton's genuine sentiments for Elvis Presley are evident. They stem from two performers who understand one another without ever having to share a stage, and they are based on respect, admiration, and a sort of spiritual bond. According to her, some people enter your life and make an impression without you even recognizing it. For me, Elvis was one of those individuals. He will always hold a special place in my heart.